Yeah.
Good afternoon, and welcome to DieDragonDie presents episode 6 of the Legends campaign. I'm your host and Scruffy McScruffersons, Marty. I am growing out my beard so I look like a homeless person.
There can be only one!
No, I left this little part out and I was starting to grow it in, but it's starting to make me look like I'm disheveled and...
I always look like that. I gotta shave at most every second year. My wife started looking at me like...
Who is this person
like
I married?
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, alright, I will get to it. I will shave this off. Hold on 1 second.
Mark is probably rolling initiative with his wife right now, so...
Right.
Total defense action!
Come on, diplomacy!
I forget where I heard it, but I heard on
Bluff
one
check.
podcast I was sort of peeking in on what other people do, and there was one line that made me laugh, and it was like filmed in front of an audience of wives that are not too enthused, a live audience of wives that aren't enthused, which I thought was pretty funny and poignant. For
relevant, highly
our
relevant
own group, right?
Right.
Thanks for making your diplomacy checks, guys. For making yet another Saturday free. We're gonna play
Initiative
this
might have
Saturday.
been rolled, and I think I took a couple of non-lethal this week, just as a heads up.
Yeah. Okay.
I took a lethal this week. Now ask me how my week was so I can show you.
Why did you glance down when you said "show you"?
It's a trap.
I'll show you.
No. Not
Just
gonna
ask.
do it.
Just
How
ask.
is-
Trust
how
me.
is everyone's week?
I will go first.
Okay.
This is Ahmed with a rib that's injured.
Wait,
It's not broken.
This is his wife telling him that there's a spider on the ceiling and he should go get it.
oh my god, it's to the Game of Thrones music.
Oh my god! How many of
This
these?
is Ahmed getting a chair because the wife suggests getting a chair. Ahmed getting on the chair. Reaching for the spider. And this is
Oh,
what
no.
happens to Ahmed's footing.
What is the cross? What is the cross that your wife is that like? You're
That's
dead?
you should arrow to the hospital.
Oh, I
Go
see.
to the
Question mark?
Go
hospital.
to the hospital.
I'm like, no, game is coming soon. So we now have and the spider is still there.
You realize?
I can't top that.
Cue-
I just.
Cue the next person.
I can't. I don't want to go after that.
I
Sorry.
took emergency first aid and CPR and ADE
Could have used you.
this week. Yeah, so I'll keep keeping keeping track of you for signs of shock, just in case we might want to actually send you to the hospital.
Stop you drawing like a cartoon description of what happened to you, because
That's hilarious. So when you
I
end up
can't
in
tell
the
stories. I
hospital,
can draw one.
Right?
when you, if
still
slash
able
when
to
you end up in the
smile.
hospital for this, it will be hilarious because you'll show up there.
What
and
have
you won't
you,
be able
sir?
to talk. You'll be in shock. You won't be able to, you'll be in and out. But you'll have this comic book that you.
be like, here's what
Don't tell the
happened.
doctor what happened. Here's
Like,
what
oh,
happened,
I
doctor.
see.
The only thing that would be better than that would be a flip book of the same scene.
I was gonna say, you need like a little like to show you, like,
No,
oh my god.
but seriously, that was
great.
That was precious, and we've got it saved for posterity.
Oh god. Oh,
That's right.
dude, it is a lot worse now. So thanks.
Oh my
Yay.
god. That sucks. I'm sorry, dude. That's so funny, though. At least we can laugh at your pain.
Yeah, I said, what the hell?
From it.
Someone's enjoying my
Yeah,
pain. Hey, Mark.
Is this
Marky
the same-
won.
Is this the same rib that you were complaining
It
about?
I landed on the one rib, the one rib that is injured.
Yes,
And
of
on my
course.
way down to the ground, I'm just wondering why. What did I do?
You challenged the Spider Queen and paid for it.
I said he's screwed. He's allowed to live in the house. He's not worth
Fight of
it.
combat. Yeah.
He's not worth it.
He showed me.
Okay, that was precious. That made my day. I think we're just done.
All right, guys. No, I've been waiting a week to do this.
We can't do it. All right, John, how was your week?
I was sick. It sucked. It was a crappy week. No
As we all wait for the comic book.
Like, okay, hold on.
Sorry.
And how's your ass, Adam?
My ass. I went back. I went back for more, and I was pushing three and a bit plates again. But my ass feels good.
Yep.
My ass is good. Yeah.
Yeah, just concerned about your friends' asses. That's all.
Oh, you should always be concerned about your friends' asses.
No, I'm 2,000 miles away. I don't get to see him much, so yeah. How's your ass?
Yeah, exactly. You don't
Toronto's
make certain it hasn't been like a blowout. Screw the Toronto Raptors. I hope they lose. That's my thoughts. I hope they lose.
Should we invite Mark to the call? Should we actually?
I just tried, and it wasn't. No.
Text him to see
Okay,
if he
hold
got
on. Let me. I'll play the part of Mark. Meh. There. I've included his feedback for how his week was.
Awesome. Okay, so why don't we dive into a recap of what happened last week? For those that are just joining us on Twitch and YouTube, we kind of ran a D&D experiment over the last few episodes. And that was, I looked at these wonderful character backstories and said, how do I bring this to life? And then how do I get the players invested in each other's characters? And given that our campaigns run a long time, like historically 50 to 100 games, why not invest one game in each of the characters' backstories? So episode 2, 3, 4, and 5 were largely focused on the backstories as scripted by the players. Some of them gave me a one-liner, like, make a sports movie, and that was what I got from Adam. Others actually, like Mark, typed up, paragraphs of text of all these nuances and stories and things like that. So that was the spectrum of stuff that I was given. So what I did was, and I was given a week basically to do these things, because each game was a week apart, was create a world that the characters were from, and then create a venture in that world using the so-called script or liner notes that they gave me about their backstory. So, in addition, what I empower the players to do, that when it wasn't their week, they would create a bunch of NPCs that would be from the world that the main character was from. So we're almost complete with this interesting experiment. I think I would reuse it again for future campaigns as a way just to introduce characters and get people to feel much more invested in their backstories. I think it was John that said, "I'm excited for game," and I'm like, "Well, why?" And what did you say, John?
Fuck if I remember.
Were you drunk at the time?
Probably.
It was something to the effect that the characters are all fleshed out now.
Yeah, it's just that we've gone through 4 weeks of this, and now it's like we have a great idea of who these people are, and I even have a better idea of who my character is, and I think everybody else feels the same way. And now we're actually going to go and play those characters, so it feels like we did all the work for this, and it's paying off.
Right. We didn't quite complete one of the character backstories. They started to run a little bit long, and I think it was fine to do that. But we're sort of in the middle to the last half of Lemmy-O's backstory. Maybe I'll do a quick recap of the journal. The journals can be found at www.DieDragonDie.com. This last journal from Games 5 was really long. Like, I'm still typing it out from this week, so I'll post it later on, probably tomorrow, and then start chipping away at the journal from tonight with whatever happens. So the story of Lemmy-O is the story of him growing up on Yggdrasil. Yggdrasil being the world tree. It's an immense mythic tree that connects many planes of existence and grows into many prime worlds. It said that if you could view the tree itself, if you could kind of stand outside and view the tree in its entirety, you'd be looking at all of creation. While this argument is best left for sages and scholars, it is indeed a wonder unto itself. It is a particular branch of the world tree called the fourth branch of Midgard, also known as Fjerdegren, that Lemmy-O's hometown is on. And now Lemmy-O's hometown is a small pocket dimension that lives in the branches of Yggdrasil. Hello, Mark. We're just doing recap.
You lazy bastard.
So Lemmy-O was born in a small demi-plane called Stemmaton, and it was ruled by a council of druids, and it was home to mostly gnomes. Lemmy-O was close to his grandparents, Joppa A and Oba B, as was common for grandparents to raise their grandchildren while their parents pursued their craft. What made Lemmy-O a little bit different was that his parents were adventurers. And they eventually went on an adventure that they didn't come back from. And they've been gone for, at this point in time, something like 30 years. Keep in mind that gnomes age differently than humans. So like a 40-year-old gnome would be kind of like a 18-year-old human. But still 30 years is a long time. During that time, he was raised by his grandparents, and his grandfather coaxed him to join, or at least petition to join, the Stemmaton clerichood. These were the priests who worshipped Yggdrasil as a god in order to learn its secrets and attend to Yggdrasil. While he was studying, he did meet a beautiful gnomish woman by the name of Lemmy-O, who was a prodigal druid who made friends with animals and plants even before she was able to speak.
She's a hottie.
So she started teaching Lemmy-O the path of the druid. Now, keep in mind, these characters are kind of like proto-heroes, and as such, they are Gestalt, and Ahmed chose both cleric and druid as his two classes. So he's progressing in the clerical arts of worshipping Yggdrasil and the druidic arts, which is basically the veneration of nature and the ecologies all around Yggdrasil. So Yggdrasil is so large that it has its own soil in the branches and entire like ecologies of trees and animals, and then of course all the natural elements like wind, sky, rain, fire, that sort of thing. So Lemmy-O is kind of progressing in both paths as a prodigal druid and cleric of his town. In addition, he's got something like a 20 charisma, so he's loved in his town. And he's quite adventurous, whereas Lemmy-O is sort of a homebody. She tends to the gardens, some of the most precious gardens that Stemmaton has, including a garden that grows intelligent plant creatures, like treants, so it's called Tender Tree Grove. Lemmy-O has the... if it were a dragon lance, the wanderlust, the desire to go out and see things in the tree. And because the tree stretches into planes and worlds, this might take Lemmy quite far. It might be the same reason why Lemmy-O has not seen his parents in so long. One day, he was in Tender Tree Grove, and he met three curious animals that wandered into the grove. Murray the eagle, Lucky the raccoon, and Gaian the small snapping turtle. What made these three creatures special was that they had awakened for some reason, whether it was some druid spell or via some divine grace. They had woke up one day and were able to think and talk and were quite intelligent. Gaian had a quest. He wasn't quite able to explain it very well, but he was drawn to a particular place high up in the branches and leaves of Yggdrasil. They became friends with Lemmy-O, and Lemmy-O agreed to help them on their quest. While they were trying to get to a particular place in the high foliage of Yggdrasil, they encountered another awakened creature that wanted to eat Gaian. His name was Fenny. Might be a reference there to a certain type of wolf in Norse myth. But Fenny had gathered together a pack of wolves, and through bravery of Murray and the companions, they were able to fend off Fenny's attacks. However, the battle...
They threw his ass off a tree and ate his eyes.
Right. Yeah, Murray was pretty vicious and awesome. Jormungandr, the awakened snake that was sitting on the branch that Gaian had to go up, had seen the combat and prepared an ambush. She too felt this strange power that was inside of Gaian and knew that she would become a force of destruction on a godly level should she be able to eat and consume Gaian. Gaian knew that he had the force of creation inside him. So there was a strange and almost like above Lemmy-O's initiate status quest going on that had ramifications that were quite deep. They
Stand still, you stupid turtle. Hold on.
They managed through the sacrifice of Murray and of Stumpworth the First. They did manage to defeat Jormungand in her lair, and during the fight, Gaian started to grow to a truly immense size. Before he grew too big for the boughs or the branches of Yggdrasil to support, he did manage to go through an open bud at the end of one of Yggdrasil's branches, and that open bud actually, with Gaian entering it, created a new world. So a new prime world called Gaian was created. Lucky bound off after his friend to live upon the world that would be the turtle's back, and then the spirit of Murray also went to go and dwell in this place. So Lemmy-O actually knows of a world that likely no one else knows about, because he was there for its creation. Lemmy-O returned with tiny gifts and then proposed to Gemadri. She accepted. Gnomish proposals are very long, due to the fact that they live for centuries. She also helped regrow Stumpworth. Apparently, if you save the heart of the tree, you're able to regrow it. And in time, Lemmy-O was called upon on his initiate quest to prove himself to the Stemmaton Priests. This time he was a full druid, but he was still, I would say, struggling a little bit, and that was really nicely, I must say, your lack of taking ranks and any knowledges kind of fit really well to the order in which I had your powers progress. What's the plane?
Don't know shit, Captain.
Right. I live in a tree. I don't know what outer planes are, and I don't know what planes are. Like grasslands. But all right. So he was gathered by the Druid Council called the Elder Council, and he was given a quest. He was told to go check out an area of the tree called the Dandurvine. They had come to the attention of the Elder Council that this area had become dangerous and perhaps even the source of minor tremors. Now, tremors along the tree is something that the Druids and the Stemmaton Priests were really concerned about. Like, they really reacted, or perhaps overreacted, every time the tree moved in any violent way. So they wanted to figure out what was causing it. Lemmy gathered up some of his companions, including, let me switch to deflector screens. No, to
Captain.
to some miniatures. So Lemmy-O brought some of his friends with him, including Sabin Greenkeeper and Mr. Greenie, his Leshy companion, Gradio Gunnigan, a hunter, and Shay Shan, a sorceress. During their trip to Dandurvine, they wandered into a grizzly bear lair, but were able to avoid confrontation, with Lemmy-O using some of his druid powers. Upon reaching the Dandurvine area, they encountered an area that was recovering, albeit poorly, from the stripping of all vegetation and animal life. Only creepy spiderwebs and near-leafless lesser trees remained in the area. Oh, and a lot of vines. They found a cottage belonging to Old Mother Yarn, a creepy old woman that was obsessed with knitting, crocheting, and spinning. This rotund and grandmotherly woman was draped in an old knitted shawl, sitting amidst heaps of colored yarn, with yarn stretching all throughout her house in strange ways, so that she could open up drawers and doors by never leaving the confines of her comfy-looking rocking chair.
Oh, you poor dearies, your grabsies and hearies must be cold. Let me spinsies some warmsies before I get too old.
That was Old Mother Yarn. They spoke to the woman, and they learned that her and her 3 daughters live in the Dandravine area, and that they might have command or have learned to live with the spiders there. Lemmy-O perceives that Old Mother Yarn is wearing a disguise, likely magical, hiding her true appearance. She spoke in some riddles, and she was quick to say, "Don't judge us yet. Look what we've done," is essentially the gist of what she's saying. And she bade Lemmy-O and her companions to look up one path of the tree towards the ant and the other path of the tree towards the bee. The party investigated both left and right branches and found 2 strange insectoid humanoids trapped in the webs, one in each branch, and they were guarded by giant spider sentinels. To the left, there was an ant-like Formian warrior that spoke of the wonders of the Myrmicon colony. To the right was a bee-like creature that spoke of the Vasilian hive. Both creatures could conceive little else than the supremacy of their own people, and kind of how they would love to invade and sort of do bug-like things to Yggdrasil. Lemmy-O and his friends returned to talk to Old Mother Yarn. They spotted her 3 daughters from a distance. They appeared spindly, gangly, and thin women that, like, with strange sort of, like, stances. Lemmy-O learned from Old Mother Yarn that they had previously done business with Stemma Glen, providing them with all sorts of wondrous yarn craft and weave work and silk. But Lemmy-O suspects that there was a falling out between Stemma Glen and Old Mother Yarn for some events that happened long ago. She currently seeks a market again for her knitted and woven wares, and sent Lemmy-O and his friends with many samples as gifts, now that they've seen what they've done. Now, Lemmy, I think, suspects that the ends of those branches might lead to portals, because they too were kind of clogged up. And it's the group of you that are now leaving to go back to Stemma Glen, I think, to report what you found. One thing that you're not too sure what, like, there was no mention of tremors, and that's something that didn't really come up at all. Which I don't remember it coming up.
No, I never asked them. I never asked that. How far out are we?
Question. Let me switch the maps.
Because I don't. Oh, maybe. Well, no. You know, I'm not gonna head back. Crazy Spider Woman.
So those 6 mile hexes. You had wandered through the tangles because there were some friendly folk that were able to help navigate the tangles. Your day's out from Stemma Glen.
Yeah.
There's Stemma Glen. This is the area that Lemmy knows about of the 4th branch of Midgard, and then there's the portal that leads to Gaian. Oh, one thing to note, that the portals, like the Yggdrasil portal, at least the portal that led to Gaian, you didn't know of any portal key.
Just open.
It just opened if you could have approached.
Yep.
How many ranks and knowledge planes do you have?
Aha! My current weakness is knowledge planes. I have 1 rank, a total of 6.
Oh, you do have a rank. Okay, give me a roll. Awesome.
Gotta stop doing that.
You'll know if we get a copyright strike that Ahmed was on pitch.
22.
Nice. Most of the portals, at least that lead to Prime Worlds, do not have portal keys on Yggdrasil. The ones that Yggdrasil stretches into don't.
And by Primal World, you mean?
Prime Worlds, as in like worlds like Earth or Greyhawk or Tyrell, or worlds on which people live. Worlds that exist within the planes of Primature planes.
Yeah.
And that's because
For the benefit of
Yggdrasil actually grows through those barriers into the next world. If there was a portal key, that would mean the portal's like shutting and closing, and it's hard to grow roots and branches through, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, if there was a portal to the place where the ants came from, or the place where the bees came from, it's probably just kind of open.
Yeah. I figured that. It's bad.
Alright, so are you remaining behind? Are you going to continue to poke around in Dandervine, or are you going to return back home with what you learned?
How close are we to the woman? The old Mother Yarn? Like, can I still chat with her?
She just finished giving you a bunch of yarn, and you guys had started back down the road. Her daughters had moved away. That large spider had kind of followed them, kind of letting you leave back down the downward branch away from out of Dandervine. You could definitely go turn around and talk to her in her cottage.
I'll go talk to her.
Okay, so Lemmy-O stops as everyone's kind of got bags of scarves and knitted blankets and quilts and things, and Lemmy-O marches back in. Is anyone else following Lemmy-O back into?
I suggest you all come along with me.
Yeah, great to come with them.
Hang out on your own might not be a good idea.
Okay, so Stumpworth is just waiting outside because he's probably carrying the lion's share of all the load of yarn work. Mr. Greenie, what are you doing?
I'll stay on guard.
Okay, so he's staying on guard and helping guard the. You guys walk back in. She's not in her rocking chair. She thought you were gonna leave. Give me a perception check. These are all for you. You can.
All right.
I have no
11.
idea what this guy's perception is.
30.
No, 30.
High wisdom, and you spend a lot of ranks.
Class skill,
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, druid, right? Okay.
Druid.
Plus.
Right, dude.
Okay. You remember she yarn bombed her entire apartment? Go ahead and Google yarn bomb, and you can see yarn bombing on as a thing.
An art form, or
yeah, it's an art form or a way of social expression, I suppose. Yarn bombing statues of like tyrants and that sort of thing. But anyways, she's yarn bombed her entire place. But with the 30 and I think the 24 as well, you notice that there's something crawling around on the ceiling. Like the ceiling part of the yarn bomb might actually not have been tight to the ceiling, but it might have provided a canopy of really, really thick layers of woven yarn. There's something crawling around up there. You could see spidery like legs.
What's the size? What size are we talking about here?
Medium.
Oh, right. I forgot.
Medium.
Mother Yarn. Medium. All right. Mother Yarn, are you still around here? I'm sorry to come back. I got a question for you.
Yes, dearie. I'm just up in the attic.
You notice that the crawling stops.
I don't know if she's up in the attic.
I don't think she's up in the attic either. All right, we'll wait outside. Let us know when you're down.
What is it? I can hear you from up here.
I wanted to ask you about something that I forgot. I assumed it was completely related, but I think I am new to this. All right. I wanted to ask you. Have you felt any tremors coming from the tree around from Yig?
Is that why you're here?
Well, it's one of the reasons that I came by. But
So
interesting, yes.
something starts to go wrong in Yig, and the first ones you blame are us.
Oh, hardly, madam. You don't understand. I've never known. We had a high diplomacy check with her, right?
I swear we incorrectly blamed a number of people before we came here.
I'm actually not sure.
You're not alone.
Well, you understand is that from the misconception, a lot of people would say that the tremors are signs of bad things happening. I would say there's just signs of change, and worth noting of change. You noted that there were changes happening close by to where you were living, and you took care of it. So it's not a bad thing to take care of where you're living and figure out what's causing these tremors.
Oh, Stemma Glen, so safe, so cozy, so turtled.
I must thank you again for what you have done here. But did they stem from here?
Why did she talk about turtles?
That's not popular.
We felt the tremors too. The tremors, however, came from another branch, another limb. So great were those tremors that what you felt through the dandelion was the shaking of one affecting the other.
Oh, dearie. Could you point me out to the direction of that one branch? Or do I know where she's talking about?
Well, you know that you're up in the higher reaches of the Yggdrasil, that just like the branches of a tree, they fork and fork and fork, and sometimes those forked branches touch.
What the fuck?
So basically,
this one
we're living
tremored
down
lots, and you're on this one, and it made this one move.
It made this, and that's what we felt. Got it. All right. So we're saying, I understand now. So it's a completely different branch. I'll
Still on the fourth branch of Midgard, yes, but far from here.
I'll tell you what, old mother. As soon as I find out what it is, I will make sure to let you know, just if you're interested. If not, know that I'm looking into it.
This place doesn't smell like old lady pants.
Quiet. Seriously, son, wonder why I bring you sometimes. Seriously.
You can leave the little girl if you want.
Oh, thank you.
Her mother might give me a tongue lashing, if you know what I mean.
I'm okay with leaving.
I always need a new assistant.
That's not a bad position, eh? What do you think?
I'm terrible. I'm all fingers when it comes to yarn. Get tied up.
We can
Knots everywhere.
We could find other uses for you.
Alright, I think I've worn a welcome here. Ma'am, I appreciate it. Have a lovely day for you.
I think we should be going.
We'll be making our way back.
Okay, you can see that she's now moving again in her attic. It's creepy,
Yeah.
creepy, like 8 legs crawling around in this web of yarn.
Alright.
Overlapping crochet work.
We make her. Do you need another diplomacy or anything like that? Or are you good?
I've got an Afghan nearby too. That I can...
Hey, look, it's Jesus.
Wait. This week, I'm the guy with the props.
Nice.
Balls of yarn.
Ooh, I'm yarn bombed.
That's right. Mark's wife likes to knit.
Yes.
She's taking up the
She
dark
makes
art
some
of
of-
crochet now. So it's
The dark art.
The dark arts.
Praise Lord.
Over, under and around. Over, under and around.
I'll get you, surface elves. Mark's gone a little crazy, hasn't he? So you guys are backing out of the
Yep.
cottage?
Yeah, we'll make our way.
Feeling
Yeah, we'll make our way down.
Yeah.
Bye.
Nothing to report.
Mr. Greeny's so cute. Oh, it's gonna be sad.
yeah, he really cute.
Hey, Stumpworth, how's it going? All right then.
Stumpworth turns to face you and
All right, that's what I thought. Excellent.
Stumpworth
excellent.
says he's pleased to be here.
Perfect. That's
We
what I
can
love
talk to
hearing.
trees, so
That's what I love hearing. Taps him on the bark.
sure.
Let's go, my friends.
Stumpworth is pretty simple. But yeah, generally he's pleased to be close to Lemmy. In the same way that a tree is pleased when the sun comes out and when it rains. And, you know...
Right.
I'm his love and warmth.
Its roots dig into nice earth.
As long as you're not on fire, everything's pretty good.
Smoke's not good.
Would trees be aroused by the forest fire coming their way? It is how they get to reproduce.
I cover stuff.
Well, they don't
Germination comes!
I put my hands.
So
I put my hands on Stelporth where his ears would be. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you? You're trying to scare the guy. This talk is not appreciated. You understand that, don't you? Again, apologies for the Irish people.
well, actually, it is the you are doing the accent of the folk, the gnomish folk from Stemmaton.
They're not Irish. It's gnomish, Stemmaton.
Any similarities to real world accents?
Purely coincidental.
Right.
The real
Really good, yeah.
it didn't really smell like ladies. Old lady in there.
Right. Well, once we get out of the vicinity, I'll explain it to you. For now, just keep your wits about you, and we'll just, walk her calmly with ourselves down.
It's not like she was a gnome, right?
True.
Not exactly.
Maybe all humans smell that way.
Right, of course. Yes, that's what she was. She was
Maybe.
human.
It's not like I go around smelling humans.
Lemmy's trying to get their minds off it. Like, hey, what the hell is that? Oh, that's weird. I thought I saw something.
What'd you
What's a
see?
snake? Oh, it's this weird, very big thing with a tail, and it was moving around. Over there. Trying to look for it. Let's keep moving. He'll be safer down that path, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, where are you headed?
One thing, well, we started heading back the same way we came, but one thing I want to check, Marty, is any of the yarn that you gave us magical.
Okay.
Detect magic.
So, are you doing that right in front of the
cottage? No. Once we get out of the area, once we leave, I detect magic on the stuff, and also look for any spiders on us.
Okay. So basically, are you walking out of the Dandervine and doing this, or?
Yeah, no, we're leaving.
Okay,
we're leaving.
You walk to where the plant life seems to be coming back, like to life, or that is much more diverse than the Dandervine area, and then you go through this exercise of checking all the yarn, and like checking each other for spiders.
Yeah,
smart.
There's one thing.
What do you mean they could be in my hair?
There's one thing that occurred to me. Why there's very little plants around in this area.
You came out of a place that was infested in spiders, and there were big bags of yarn, so you do find a couple of them, but you don't think that they were...
Let them out.
They don't think that there was any sort of malicious intent with sending a couple of house spiders?
Greenie is, like, shooing the spiders away with his little...
All spiders have malicious intent.
Yes.
Got it.
They're all bad!
Greenie is shooing the spiders away.
The slideshow, Mark. You're gonna have to go back and watch the beginning of the episode.
It's pretty funny.
It's a strong recommend.
He hurt his ribs, and my sides are now in orbit. So.
Thanks, guys. I'm glad I can make you smile. The one thing that occurred to me is why there's no plants around here is because there's no insects, there's no animals. That's how you get the spread between plants. That's how you get things growing. They got to. Well, they got to mix. But if you got nothing that's carrying the mixing, whether it's insects or animals, there's nothing growing. How does that theory sound to y'all? There's no druids here, but isn't there a druid? One of the guys is a druid, right?
Sabin is a druid.
Yeah.
Sabin, what do you think of that?
That makes a certain amount of sense. Yes, nature doesn't exist in a single form, but.
It's fascinating that that's such a clean circle.
For the strength of the biome, you want the diversity in the plants and the animals of the flora and the fauna.
Adam just disappeared.
No, he's still here.
Remembering a textbook.
I don't hear him. He just froze in a hilarious.
Okay,
hold on. Let me get my.
Adam, John, you guys lost
tool.
each other. We didn't lose you.
I almost got a great screenshot of Adam frozen.
He's like.
It was pretty much like that, yeah.
So, The vines are bad. All vines everywhere is bad.
Well, I wouldn't say so. If you see, you see what old Mother Yarn did there. She kind of protected us from a war spilling out onto Yig. And their presence is not something that we should scoff at. It's not a bad thing. They are existing, just like us. They just exist a little differently. I wouldn't say that they're...
No. What got rid of everything to make all the vines come? We're in the Dandervine, and there's vines, and there's only vines. And all the little things, the dandelions, and the lilies, and all the...
Sorry, did I miss something? What do you mean?
Why are only vines thriving there? Yeah.
Vines grow differently than other plants.
The vines, they collect nutrients from other places. They take it to another source. That's a good point you got. He's going to start looking at, Marty, he's going to start looking at the vines, see what direction they're growing, like he's going to map out like a couple of like an area, like a nice semicircle, and see where the vines are growing. And what he's going to do is he's going to make cuts along the vines and put dye in them, and then we're going to wait a day, and we're going to make cuts down either side of each place where I put the dye and see how far it went on either side. It'll tell you which way it's going.
Okay. Just like a tree, actually give me a knowledge nature.
I pulled that straight out of you-know-where. This is Lemmy-O's thinking. Like,
straight out of your wife's gardening book?
And
exactly.
The druids and others can aid him if you want.
Knowledge nature, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Knowledge nature. I can help. I can aid.
I can aid with
I
that.
failed to aid, but I didn't hinder.
23 is my aid.
It's like the thing you do with the celery.
I help. Yes.
23.
That's what.
Maybe you should
roll
roll
the aids.
Yeah. I rolled a 13, so.
Well, that's an interesting idea. It might take some time to do with the dye. Usually the vines grow thickest at the root.
Right, but how thin are they here?
The source of the vine has to be back towards Old Mother Yarn's cottage. The vines are very, very small and spindly and like spaghetti sized.
That's where
as you're entering the Dandervine. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I would say these vines are probably the signs of. Well, initially I was thinking they're probably coming across from the branches touching each other from the other branch, but I'm guessing this must be how she tells when people are coming, or there's something coming.
Those that were able to aid plus Lemmy can give me a perception check. This is to kind of represent you guys trying to recall a detail.
27.
9! That is what I saw.
27. 4 grade, don't miss a thing.
28.
The vines were particularly thick. Holy shit. Okay, I was going to be like 20, you kind of remember something. 25, you know where they're coming from. The vines were particularly thick on the path of the ant.
The holy vine cometh.
The accursed vine of the ant.
It is the highway of the gods.
All right. Thanks for that.
Oh, you're doing the ant voice. I was like, I don't know what he's doing there. you jogged my memory. Okay.
Thanks. Thanks.
Voice,
That's a very good perception.
Good questions, guys.
Oh, good roll you got there. No, thanks for pointing out the roots for the vines. We'll take this knowledge. We'll have to let the council decide from what we've found and what we've discussed here and what's transpired. I think it's time to bring everything back to them.
Why don't we get a piece of vine to bring? Do they have like a little flowery buddy bit?
Yeah, you can harvest some pieces of the vine. No problem.
Okay, this is a bit of an aside, but I just looked at the Lemmy-O token in detail at the right sort of zoom, and it looks like boobies. Makes me happy.
Hey, booby face.
I have no idea.
Not old enough? Apparently not old enough. That's fine.
I just see a bearded leprechaun. I'm not too sure, but...
Oh, I'm looking at the Lemmy-O. The Lemmy-O token on the dander on the fair grand, the party token.
Oh, I see the. Okay, the swirls. Okay, the symbol of the Stemmaton Priests.
Yes, yeah. They're the movie priests.
That makes a lot more sense. I was really concerned that when you saw like old bearded men, you.
Yeah, I actually
like,
zoomed in on Lemmy. I'm like, I just don't see it.
Nope, this one. This one right here.
So Adam has found religion. It's just a fake religion, and all you need to do is have 2 orbs in it. Mental note.
Marty.
I like the orbs.
we are heading back through the bear den, right? We're going to head back through the
Church of the Eternal Twin Orbs.
Oh my god.
The holy pasties.
You could actually start a religion.
Yeah, well,
Yeah. Tax benefits.
Slippery slope.
Yeah, it is.
No comment. No comment.
No comment. No comment.
Okay, so you guys are heading back towards Stemma now that you've taken some.
Can I reprep spells?
Yeah. It's multiple days back there. You're along this particular path. You decided to avoid the bear den, and you're under a much larger area. Can I have a marching order? Down is forward, we'll say.
Okay.
Force you guys.
Old Grady's not afraid to take the lead on this one.
Oops.
Sure.
Sorry, forced to the wrong place.
There we go. Mr. Greeny insists that he must be in the vanguard.
Well, fine. I'll kick the cabbage at whatever comes at it.
Hilarious.
Was it tree in the back?
Tree, yeah, sure. We'll cover our rear.
Don't worry,
We're
Mr.
surrounded
Goon.
by vegetation.
I'll protect us.
Goon. It's McGoonigan.
Uh,
McGoonigan.
Mr. Goon.
Oh, you know what? You may look like a cabbage, but you're dumb as a turnip. And yeah, there's a difference. There's a difference. He's looking back at everyone.
She had her mouth open. Mouth open and finger up.
Okay, Mr. Greeny, give me a perception check. The DC is 20 to notice the weakened area of bark that you're about to walk through.
15, so no.
Okay. Grady, you can also give me a perception check. I'm going to make it DC 16 because Mr. Greeny is falling through the bark, and he may not want to
Are there
step
wolves
He missed it as
from
well.
within?
there are no wolves. Okay, so both Mr. Greeny and Grady O'Goonigan need to make a reflex save to not fall into this area of the bark that just simply gives away like thin, wet wood.
+16.
+3. My reflex save is not so hot. 17.
Okay, so the two of you managed to stay. You guys managed to not fall in.
Whoa, that was close.
I'm going to turn the orientation a little bit, just to kind of go left to right.
You okay there, Mr. Goon?
Yeah, I almost stepped in that hole thanks to you. You're in my way. I couldn't see it.
The hole goes down, and it's strange to see. It's not... Well, give me a knowledge nature, Lemmy. Anyone else is concerned?
20?
Yggdrasil is as a living thing. It does
24.
grow, and parts of it do die, and then it regrows and kind of becomes stronger. So growth and death of any living thing is normal. You found basically what could be described as a knot of a tree that has fallen out.
Okay.
And it's an area of rot, but you're wondering how big it is at this point in time. And this is one of the things that you remember you're supposed to keep track of.
Okay. Oh, hold on there. You guys all right?
I'm okay.
I'm fine. My cat-like reflexes have saved us both.
I'm glad to hear.
I wish you'd learn to stop peeing inside the house like a cat.
Right. Yeah, you say the darndest things, I tell you.
I will punch you in the face. I don't know if you know that or not. Square in the kiss.
Tell your mom.
We should look into this one. We can't just tell you long and leave it. Hold on a second. We're gonna have to investigate and see what's actually happening here. Right. So knowledge. So this is below us, right?
Yeah, there's kind of a crack in the ground, and you look in, and you see that there's almost like a cave within Yggdrasil.
Okay, so I'll take a piece of bark, cast light on it, and
okay, you pick up a piece of bark and cast light on it, and you drop it down. Yeah, you don't like the way that the walls look. They look kind of blackened from rot, and then there's a weird mulch at the bottom. It's about a 20-foot slide down.
All right, we got rope.
That you do.
We do. This is all right. If spider climb is used, will the bark just give way, and whoever is trying to climb will just fall out? You know what I mean? Like if you're trying to, you're Spider-Manning your way through it, but the wall itself is just crap. You're gonna take it with you, right?
Yeah, you need something solid to go onto.
Okay, this has to make my head warm.
Yeah, same with the Afghan. I was not going to keep that on for very long.
All right, but
I volunteer.
All right.
Who has the whistle?
That was Lemmy.
Lemmy-O.
Lemmy's got his Stemmaton you would flute.
My flute.
Mr. Greeny is eager to be the one to explore this, prove his worth.
Right, I don't have a problem with that.
Assuming
he
at
looks
this point
over.
everyone's standing around looking down.
Yep.
Yeah. Can you keep an eye out? Actually, I'll keep an eye out and ask Grady. Grady, can you tie him down and tie him around Stumpworth and have him lowered down to take a look and see what's happening?
Sure.
Doesn't Stumpworth have a climb speed?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does. You can climb down.
Why do you want me to tie it up?
Yeah. Are you able to just climb on your own?
Yes, sir.
Are there any animals nearby?
Okay, you're looking around for animals. Give me a perception check.
Yeah. Tracking as well.
3.
Well, I think at this point in time, Lemmy-O is organizing how people are getting down and fiddling with ropes. Shay-Shan is now looking around for animals or.
Here, birdie, birdie, birdie. Squirrel, squirrel, squirrel.
Why don't you guys get proper animals to follow you around like proper druids? This is ridiculous.
Right there,
you will take that. You will take that back.
Their natural enemies are termites and cows.
Give me a perception check, Shay.
Another one, or
was it 3 that you got?
It was 3. Yeah, it's not great.
Okay, no, there are animals. You could swear you saw some birds. They're not here now that you want to see them, though.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a bird somewhere.
Where the hell are they?
Like, oh, was that a shrew? Oh, it ran away.
Maybe here I go.
Maybe it's
Mr. Greeny hops into the hole.
Okay.
He's got a fly speed, but he basically glides with his little leaf cloak. So he has to end up lower than he starts every time he flies.
Okay,
So he basically just this little like. Woo.
So cute and so effective.
How does he get back up?
He has a climb speed.
Okay, Mr. Greenie. What's Mr. Greenie's intelligence?
He's pretty smart for a leaf. He has an intelligence of 6.
Okay, Mr. Greenie sees at the back part of this little chamber 2 things that make him nervous. One is that there's a hole that goes deeper.
The salad bowl.
and the other one is to Mr. Greenie's eyes would be a rotten nut. Like this kind of wooden pillar with a rotten nut on it.
Oh damn.
You mean sitting on top of it?
Yep. Kind of growing out of it, but you don't like the way it makes you feel. Mr. Greenie also sees there is a body down here, and he doesn't like the way that the body looks because it's covered in metal.
Oh.
Covered in metal?
Yep.
Yeah, it's like the opposite of being a plant.
At first, you just thought it was like horrible metal. It must be the cause of it, Mr. Greenie.
What do you see down there, boy? Or Leafy?
There's some bad stuff. Metal Man and rotting nut. Yep.
Rotting nut, you say?
Oh, and there's another hole.
Ah. The rabbit hole goes deeper, I see. It's not a rabbit hole, it's just a figure of speech, don't
Can I come out now?
Yes. Drop. Make your way up, come on.
He starts climbing up. He's got a climb speed of 10. He's not particularly quick, but he's faster.
If he's got a climb speed, he's got a +8 racial bonus to climb. The DC is 15. There's nothing bugging him, so he's able to hoist himself up.
Brushes off a few bits of dirt.
I want one for every adventuring party.
Right, these guys are great.
Well, they also don't die, so you don't have to feel bad.
Yeah. No, you can actually build them. You just have to have some money and some spells, and you put their little body together and you plant it in the right place, and you come back in a couple weeks and see if a spirit decided to live in there.
That is
risk-free.
Cool.
Yeah, it is really cool. They're never particularly dangerous, but they're like druid homunculi.
Must be what happens when you give them class levels.
Well, yeah, there you go. They're still like int 6, though. They're not exactly. You're not going to have a Leshy wizard.
Oh, I'm thinking a Leshy barbarian might be funny.
Let's give
small,
Mr. Greenie an int check to see if he also noticed something that might be pertinent to this. Like, he saw it, I don't know if he just didn't explain it very well.
I think 6 is just a -2, right?
Yeah, let's do DC 10.
11! He's a smart little leaf.
Alright, I will send John a note.
The cheese walls.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Cheese walls. He
You're saying
makes
that-
like this eating like
There's holes in the walls?
yeah, big holes, small holes, lots of holes.
Lemmy's gonna put his ear to the ground and ask everyone to shush and try to listen.
Do you hear anything, Lemmy? Lemmy, do you hear anything?
Sure. Everyone's aiding in your hear check by being very quiet. I will give you +2 to your perception.
Yeah.
Because you're also doing the right thing to listen.
25.
You hear this very faint but audible crunching noise, and it's constant. It's coming from the tree itself.
Does it seem to be focused around the where the hole is? Like where this you know what I mean? Like if I move away, how is it close to where the hole is or not?
Okay, so you move away